Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's edition of the English Newscast on Info Television. We kickstart with our headlines. The Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Abena-Ondoa, has presided over the first expanded preparatory meeting ahead of the International Women's Day. And Cameroon kicks off World Cancer celebrations with a free screening campaign in Douala aiming to tackle the growing burden of cancer in the country. And in this newscast, we shall talk sports as the 2026 MTN Elite One Championship is already living up to expectations, with Dynamo FC of Douala setting the early piece after the 2 match days marked by goals. Those were our headlines. Details right ahead. One more time, good evening. And as you heard in one of our lead stories, the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Abena-Ondoa, has presided over the first expanded preparatory meeting ahead of the 41st International Women's Day. The session, which held this February 4, 2026, brought together key partners at the Ministry's Annex building in Yaoundé. More highlights in the following reports. Plans to promote gender equality, women's empowerment and family welfare were discussed during this meeting ahead of the 41st edition of the International Women's Day. The event, chaired by the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Abena-Ondoa, on February 4, 2026, had a precise focus.
This was the first preparatory meeting for the 41st edition of the International Day of the Woman in our country, and the theme is rights, justice, action for all women and girls. Here we were sharing ideas and announcing the main dates.
All partners were urged to participate actively in this year's celebration, and this proves Cameroon's commitment to promoting equal rights.
We have a trade fair that we start on the 2nd of March to end on the 6th. We have a March past, and then administrations, public and private and civil society organizations were here to share the programs of activities that they are planning to have.
A question and answer session followed where different participants tabled their worries as concerned the upcoming Women's Day. The 2026 edition of the Women's Day fabric was also presented, and the list of disciplinary and security measures for the March Pass was unveiled. The history of the Youth Day, challenges and prospects was the theme of discussions held on February 3, 2026 between young people and university lecturers at the National Museum in Yaoundé. Helping young people better understand their identity was the objective, as you tell us in this report, Mimi Tiobo.
Repositioning themselves at the heart of the nation building and gaining a deeper understanding of the reality of the business center were amongst the key recommendations addressed to young people during a conference held on Tuesday, February 3, 2026 at the National Museum in Yaoundé. The exchange was led by officials from the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education in collaboration with university lecturers. Throughout rich and instructive discussions, the speakers reminded young people that the Youth Day, now in its 60th edition, is rooted in a history that deserves to be known, understood and embraced.
Il était question d'échanger avec les jeunes. The
goal was to exchange with young people, to show that it's time to take control, to give ourselves hope, and to understand that if we have the Cameroon we have today, it's because there were people who fought, there were people who militated, there were men who lost their lives for Cameroon to be independent. And the Youth Day was not initially thought of just a celebration. its commemoration of collective memory that originally wasn't just about the reunification of parts of Cameroon with Nigeria, which sparked national mourning, and this national mourning was later transformed by President Amadou Ahidjo decree in line with what already existed in Cameroon Anglophones, where 11 February was already celebrated as a feast of joy, marking the reunification of Cameroon. Highly motivated, young people from high schools and universities sought to understand the reason behind their low involvement in world creation, the challenges of prosperity and hope carried by the team this 60th anniversary, as well as the measures taken by the government to combat youth unemployment in Cameroon, an enriching experience, they say.
These conferences was very, very interesting because it helped us to understand the genesis of the organization of the Youth Day. Because we learned that the Youth Day was organized in British Cameroon, and to commemorate the fact that the Northern Cameroon has been attached to the Nigeria, and President Ahidjo and Jongo Fonchai decided, as the youth are the bride of the nation, to make the youth in the forefront of the national development.
Beyond proactivity, on social media, young people were also urged to break free from stagnation, fully commit to the country's socio-economic development, there to undertake entrepreneurial venture and become role models capable of transforming mindsets.
And the town of Ngaoundéré celebrated the 24th edition of the National Bilingualism Day on February 2, 2026. The event, organized by the Ngaoundéré 2 Council, took place at the Sikh Bilingual Primary School. Amadou Bouba reports from Ngaoundéré.
And the pupils of Kamsik Bilingual School Complex, nous vous souhaitons une chaleureuse bienvenue dans nos établissements.
Dignitaries in attendance included Abdul Aziz Bakari, representing the Senior Divisional Officer, and Usmanu Sali, representing the Council Mayor. In a festive atmosphere, students from nursery and primary school demonstrated their bilingual skills through songs, poems, traditional dances, and various artistic performances. The SDO's representative opened the ceremony with a welcome address, stressing the critical importance of mastering both French and English in the contemporary world. District Inspector Abo Ne Bebe Mairama also addressed the assembly, expressing her satisfaction with the day's success. She commended the students' efforts, noting their ability to express themselves fluently in both official languages, thereby embodying the celebration's core spirit.
Today is the day of bilingualism. Bilingualism is a day when we speak English and French. The theme of the day is Artificial Intelligence at the Service of Bilingualism.
The ceremony concluded with an impressive student parade featuring participants from the youngest nursery pupils to the oldest primary students. The event highlighted the educational community's commitment to promoting bilingualism and served as a vibrant platform for advancing linguistic and cultural diversity within the Adamawa.
And now let's talk health as Cameroon kicks off World Cancer Day celebrations with a free screening campaign in Douala aiming to tackle the growing burden of cancer in the country. Mimi Tiobo has more details.
Reducing the global impact of cancer is a driving force behind the free screening campaign launched on February 3rd, 2026 in Douala on the occasion of World Cancer Day, which is celebrated on February 4th. To fight this pathology, experts have highlighted the growing number of cancer cases in Cameroon, a major public health problem. In the world, lung cancer remains the first cancer in all sex. In Cameroon in general, for men and women, breast cancer, colorectal cancer, and prostate cancer are the first cancers. In women, it is breast cancer and uterus cancer. In men, it is prostate cancer and colon cancer and anus cancer, which are the first cancers we will find. At the Esplanade of the General Hospital in Douala, the campaign will not only focus on screening, but also on researching diseases that can complicate patients' care and treatment. Additionally, the initial aim to raise awareness among citizens about the risk factors associated with cancer.
Le cancer survient chez des individus.
Cancer occurs in individuals who may have many other health problems around them. And so, over this campaign, we often meet patients who come with high glycemia or who have unbalanced blood pressure. We will not let the sick person go because even if he has cancer, this chronic disease also needs to be treated. We consult them completely and now we guide them to our colleagues who are more or less in charge of these problems. This campaign will run throughout the month of February, targets everyone, including children, men and women. By promoting early detection and education, the organizers hope to make a significant impact in the fight against cancer.
And still in health, nutrition took center stage at the Yaoundé Gynecology, Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital on February 3, 2026, where professionals shared their expertise on building a balanced diet. More highlights in the following report.
A balanced diet rich in vegetables, fruits, healthy proteins, carbohydrates, and good fats is essential for maintaining good health. This message was highlighted at the event held at the Esplanade of the Yaoundé Gynecology, Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital, where nutrition took center stage. According to experts, a balanced diet follows a precise pyramid. Nutrition begins with breastfeeding for children and for adults with a balance of food group, they emphasize.
We want to make a point on the first 1,000 days of life. That goes from the pregnancy until the 2 years of life. During this opportunity, we call it window opportunity, during which we have to emphasize on advices concerning diet, balanced diet, so that the child will not grow with something lacking on him, so that he will build an adult with all the potential.
The nutritionist also warned against deprivation of certain foods from the food pyramid is a health flop, as they caution.
Instead of going inside room and present communication, we thought that bringing food from our region, food from our society and our culture was important, so that we make people understanding that it's not advised to go and buy food that is transformed. We have to eat what we have in our farm, what we have in what we call potager behind the house, or what we have buy with our money. Local food, not transformed food, is adequate to fight against malnutrition.
The event aimed to educate attendees on the importance of a balanced diet and provide them with the knowledge and tools necessary to make informed choices about their health.
And the 6th Ordinary General Assembly of the Groupement des Transporteurs Terrestres du Cameroun convened in Yaoundé to discuss the need for resilience in the transport sector. The event brought together delegates from 9 different nations. Amadou Buba reports.
Held under the theme Modernization, Professionalism and Resilience in Road Transport, the Assembly provided a platform to discuss the critical challenges to establishing a competitive and sustainable logistic chain in Central Africa.
This General Assembly were invited to be among the attendees, and one of the key reasons or objective is to ensure that there is regional cooperation, regional development, and free flow of vehicles across the western region and probably across the whole country. As you are aware, transportation is one of the key aspects of every development all over the world. And once the transportation ease of transportation is brought, of course there will be free flow of goods and services, as well as there will be income generated, and that income generated will also lead to the growth domestic product of every country, not only Cameroon and Nigeria, but Africa and the world.
In his address, President Yahya Ibrahima outlined major sectoral hurdles, including road harassment and a deficit of civic responsibility, while proposing concrete solutions to improve the prevailing conditions. Governor Bukar emphasized the transport sector's vital role in sustainable development and called for respect towards Republican institutions. He also addressed a regrettable incident in Wenganga, urging a collective focus on future progress.
Forge ahead for our development, we have to be law-abiding, to respect the laws of the country, because everyone can profit when the situation is calm, when people are going freely about activities, when people go to their work without hindrance. So I think today is a wonderful occasion to remind those people of the importance of peace and other good things for our society.
The gathering served as a crucial forum for exchange, aiming to foster a road transport industry that is both modernized and firmly aligned with established professional norms.
And in sports, the 2026 MTN Elite One Championship is already living up to expectations, with Dynamo FC of Douala setting the early pace after 2 matches days marked by goals. Phillips Enchi with the details.
The 2026 MTN Elite One Championship continued to produce exciting moments, surprises and early indications of title ambition. Dynamo FC of Douala now maintains the top position of the tournament with a perfect 6 points after recording a convincing 3-1 victory over defending champions Victoria United on February 1st, 2026. The result confirms Dynamo's strong start as the season unfolds, placing the team at the top of the rankings. The competition proceeds with a jaw-dropping performance in Yaoundé as Canon Sportif suffered a surprising 1-0 defeat against the Fevrier Azul on January 31st, 2026. The loss marks a difficult start to the campaign for the football giants in the competition. In Bamenda, PWD of Bamenda thrilled fans at the Bamenda 1 Proximity Stadium with an emphatic 4-1 win over Stade Renard of Melong, delivering one of the most entertaining performances of the round. Elsewhere, Gazelle Football Academy continued their impressive form with a 2-1 victory over Colombe Sportif of Ja and Lobo, with several matches ended in a goalless draw. Coton Sport on its part confront Elge Royal of Mongo, resulting in a 0-0 draw, while AS Fortuna on full shared points with Elgle of Menua and Unisport of Bafang maintained a 0-0 draw against the Panthers Sportif of Day. The competition brought in a total of 16 goals across various fixtures, underlining the competitive nature of the championship. After the second day of play, Dynamo of Douala now maintains the lead as the competition unfolds with 6 points, followed closely by Gazelle FA with 6 points. Aigle Royal of Menua and Panthers Sportif of Dame both sit on 4 points. It should be recalled that the 2025-2026 MTN Elite One is being contested in a single group format involving 14 clubs, and the early battle of dominance is already visible as the competition unfolds.
And that information in sports brings us to the end of tonight's edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for watching, and stay in the company of our programs as Madeleine Karin Bihiha comes up at 8 p.m. for the news in the French language. Have a good evening.